Good afternoon. The Committee on Water and Land is on its hearing notice for Wednesday, April 7th, today at 1 p.m. in room 229. And we'd like to say aloha to our testifiers out there. This meeting, including the audio and video of remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. Also finding the links to viewing options for all of the Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website. And to further add that in the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to major technical difficulties, the Committee on Water and Land will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 1 p.m. on Friday, April 9th, in room 229 and on YouTube as well. The public notice will be posted on the legislature's website if this hearing is to be delayed. And for those on Zoom land, your audio is muted and the video disabled until shortly before it's your turn to testify. You'll have 2 minutes each in your testimonies. So members, thank you. We got full on board of our members here. We'll proceed with the agenda of today, and it's HCR 16, and this authorizes the issuance of a term non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands at Ka'alawai, Honolulu, Oahu, for the existing seawall and for use, repair, and maintenance of the existing improvements constructed thereon. I see Russell Tsuji from DLNR.
Yes, good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Russell Tsuji for DLNR. We will stand on our testimony in support of this measure. Available for questions if you have any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We also have a support from Taylor Jones. Members, those are the two in support. Any questions? Let's proceed then to HCR 17, House Draft 1, and this authorizes the issuance of a term non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands in Waimanalo, Ko'olau-Poko, Oahu, for the existing pier, seawall, and steps, and for use, repair, and maintenance of the existing improvements constructed thereon. Russell Tsuji, DLNR.
The department will stand on its written testimony in support. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Russell, when since our agenda today are all on submerged lands, just let us know if this is existing or new. Okay, so if it's a new easement application, then just let us know. So it seems like most of them are existing. So just to let
you say new, you mean newly constructed type of seawall?
Yeah, or newly application on the easement.
Yeah, a lot of these didn't have an easement document approval before, and that's why we're coming before the board now.
Right.
They may have, almost all of them have been there for
a while. Yeah, so it's all okay.
Yes, we're trying to catch up on.
Thank you. But just let us know if this is a new application.
Okay.
Okay. HCR, let's see. I think we're done with the 17. HCR 18, and this authorizing the issuance of a term non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands in Kama'ole Kula, Maui, for the existing rubble rock revetment, rock wall, and 2 concrete stairways, and for the use, maintenance, repair, replacement, and removal of the existing improvements constructed therein. It's all yours, Russ.
Okay, and this particular easement we're requesting actually had a revocable permit for the rock revetment earlier, and During the process of converting a rock revetment into a long-term disposition, such an easement, we discovered some other encroachments, and we're including that all into this new easement before you.
Okay.
It was outstanding testimony, thank you.
It kind of sounds familiar. Is it the rubber rock revetment? Is it pretty much prevalent on the Maui side? Didn't we hear one previously, similarly?
There's a lot of, that is a typical way of, alternatively to a structural wall, a lot of people put up rock revetments as well.
Ah,
But it's still an encroachment on state land, yes, because it's man-made.
okay. All right. Any questions, members? Otherwise, let's proceed to HCR 19. And this is authorizing the issuance of a perpetual non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands at Mauna Lua, Honolulu, Oahu for the existing storm drain and for the use, repair, and maintenance of the existing improvements constructed thereon. Russell?
Yes, this, okay, this is like Rezo said, an existing storm drain. However, it is a new easement that we're asking for approval. And it's perpetual because it's a storm drain in the Wailupe area.
Okay. All right, thank you. Questions, members? Okay, let's proceed with HCR 20. And this is authorizing the issuance of a perpetual non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands at Kaneohe, Ko'olau Poko, Oahu for the existing storm drain and for the use, repair, and maintenance of the existing improvements constructed thereon. Okay, Russell?
And again, this is another storm drain, new perpetual easement, but it's been existing there for quite some time.
Okay.
Standard.
All right. Thank you. HCR 21, authorizing the issuance of a term non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands at Napili 2 and 3, Lahaina, Maui, for the existing walkway and for use, repair, and maintenance of the existing improvements constructed thereon. Okay, Russell?
Okay, this one I'll try to explain. It's a little tricky. This one actually had an easement already for portions of the encroachment that we talk about in our memo. The difference was that these encroachments the easement that was issued before was not a submerged land easement. So we talk about that in conjunction with what is before today is only the submerged land easement, which is a portion of the walkway, which we discovered very recently in a recent shoreline certification. Yeah. Okay. So there is the current easement. There is a new current easement for a walkway, but there's also an existing easement for other encroachments already in place.
Is this a neighboring development that we did a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. All of these resos you have seen in
Maui, the Napili area.
The sand version.
It's
Yeah,
all the
sand.
connecting lands then, yeah?
Yes, it's the same one. Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
just coming out today because of the House. It's the House concurrent resolution.
Okay, all right. Members' questions? Okay, let's proceed with HCR 22, House Draft 1, and this authorizing the issuance of term non-exclusive easements covering a portion of state submerged lands at Wai'ohuli, Keokea, Kihei, Wailuku, Maui for the existing seawall and for the use, maintenance, and repair of the existing improvements constructed thereon. Okay, Russell?
Yeah, this one, if I may call Ian Hirokawa, he's on board to help explain. I think it involves an existing easement as well as a new easement. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon, chair, members of the committee. Ian Hirokawa with DLNR Land Division. So, yeah, this one I think you've heard the Senate version before. This is in Kihei, Maui on Halama Street. what it is the original easement was approved, paid for, and I believe we've already got legislative approval. And we also discovered later on encroachments that were located in Makai, the easement area. So part of the seawall is encroaching Makai, the easement area, and because the shoreline has moved inland, the Malka portion of the seawall that was constructed on private property is now on the shoreline and in the shoreline and also encroaching. So what we're seeking is the additional easement areas, both Malka and Makai, of the existing already approved easement, to add to that, adding those areas onto it. Also, the property, it was once a single parcel, and it's been not subdivided, but CPR'd into two separate units. So that's another change. I'll be available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, so Russell, this particular one on 22, we never heard it in the Senate.
No, you did.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, members' questions? Thanks, Ian. We have HCR 23, and this is authorizing the issuance of a term non-exclusive easement covering a portion of state submerged lands at Waiuhuli Keokea Homesteads, Kihei Maui, for the existing seawall, rock revetment, and concrete steps, and for the use, repair, and maintenance of the existing improvements constructed thereon. Okay, Russell, are you doing this?
Yes, I believe this one is also a brand new easement. However, on existing improvements that have been there, that's existing within the submerged land area, which we're trying to get a disposition for and legitimize it. So it is a new easement on this one. But you've seen a companion on the Senate side earlier.
Okay. All right, we're going into the last one, but that's not a DLNR. But since I got DLNR on, Russell, we're moving a lot of sea level rise bills, and interesting because I guess eventually you folks will be identifying a lot of areas throughout the state that has either state facilities or state infrastructure. It's going to be interesting once you folks all identify areas that will be or should be addressed looking at regions within the state. So it's going to be interesting what happens going forward, with sea level rise.
Yeah.
And these are all private properties, so like these are not within the boundaries of state,
Yes. Well, to the extent that it's now seaward of the shoreline, it then becomes under the laws, the state property, and that's. We have some, easements just that actually was private property earlier, but today, because of the shoreline, it's now within the shoreline, so it requires a disposition under the Supreme Court cases that say that is state land.
Wow.
So
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if Sam, I think Sam Lemo might be on. I thought that he might want to comment on the sea level rise, but
Right.
he's definitely actively involved in that as well.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. Members, the last item is HCR 49, House Draft 1, and this authorizing the issuance of a lease covering state submerged lands at Pier 27 in Honolulu Harbor, Oahu, to Atlantis Submarines, Hawai'i. And Derek, are you there? I don't see, it doesn't look like Derek Chow. Who's that? Ron?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hi, good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members. I stand on my written testimony, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, members. Questions on HCR 49? Okay, hearing none, I think we don't have IT. We don't need to actually go into I was gonna say hibernation, but we don't. We're prepared to just proceed with decision-making. Okay, and so members, I think you were distributed the decision-making, so, and these are pretty much for approval and must do, so. We'll proceed then with, I think we need to break this up because we have one or two items with an SD1, and that's only technical in nature. So I'd like to make things easier for our vice chair. So I will take the first, and I'll identify what it is. We'll take the first four because the recommendations are the same. So Chair's recommendation on HCR 16, including HCR 17, House Draft 1, including HCR 18 and HCR 19, HCR 20. Recommendation is to pass these measures as is. Any discussion? Hearing none. Vice Chair for the vote. Chair goes aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Misalucha.
Aye.
Senator Riviere.
Aye.
And Senator Favela.
Aye.
The recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Now, HCR 21, and the chair's recommendation is to pass this one with an SD1 in its purely non-substantive technical amendments on this measure, and pretty much very technical on, like, for dates, periods, and whatever. Chair's recommendation is to pass this with an amendment SD1. Any discussion on HCR 21? Any discussion? Hearing none. Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, with 5 members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Okay, HCR 22, similar recommendation. Chair's recommendation is to pass with an SD1 that identifies non-substantive technical amendments as well for this measure. Any discussion? Hearing none. Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay,
Chair
with
goes
5
aye.
members present, any reservations? Any opposition? Recommendation adopted.
Thank you. For the last two measures, HCR 23, HCR 49, House Draft 1, Chair's recommendation are to pass these two measures as is. Any discussion? Hearing none. Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, with 5 members present, any reservations? Any opposition? What about HCR 20?
Oh, yeah, sorry. HCR, oh, yes, the last one. Recommendation. I don't have a sheet. Sorry. The last one.
Yeah.
49.
No, it's 20.
Oh, 20.
I think you mentioned 20.
Yeah.
Did you do that, did you include that in the first 4? I think you just had 4.
No, I said 4, but I think there were 5.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
sorry. And we took care of 49, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
All right. Thank you, folks. And this concludes then the Water and Land Committee. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you.